Hello, everybody. Heri Joensen from Tuir here, speaking to you from Prague, and this is the November live Q&A from Tuir.
Hi guys, this is Tad from Sopron, Hungary. I'm the drummer of Tuir. How's it going?
Me or our dear viewers?
Oh, I don't care about you. Yes, of course I do.
Anybody.
I hope you do well.
Look, Hans couldn't make it, unfortunately. Gunnar couldn't make it either, so you're stuck with us. Just adjust my camera angle here a bit. And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And we are here to answer your questions. We have right now, I see 54 viewers. That is
Wow.
a nice number. Makes me feel warm and fuzzy and famous and all. A lot of comments so far. Some horns up from Keith there.
Oh yeah.
And we have the usual Brazilians. Yeah, we're coming to Brazil. Don't worry.
We will.
Someone wants a refund because Gunnar is not here. I would want a refund too if I were cheated of Gunnar's presence, I must say.
And especially if we would have paid for this, right?
Yeah, true. There's no.
What
if
refund?
I paid to see Gunnar, right?
We're cheap-ass bastard musicians.
Yeah. Cheers from Norway. What about near Turkey? We've been to Turkey twice, I believe. And
well, once with me for sure. That was in Istanbul. That was very nice.
Yeah, I think Amon was with us on the other trip, and we went to Greece also. The only time we played in Greece on the first time. Love to play there again. Love to.
It was a very nice venue
Robert
as well.
Thomsen asks, any plans for American tour? No. No plans. So I'm going to go to the next question. No, maybe we should say something more about that. Look, we're working on a lot of tours at the moment, and there are some details coming together here and there for tours. Nothing we can announce yet. I'm afraid an American tour is not something we're working on at the moment. It will happen eventually. We had a tour lined up in the US for us, which was postponed and then canceled, and we'll get back to that eventually. It's just not something that I am aware they're working on actively right now.
And especially,
unfortunately,
I mean, please don't forget that we as Europeans are still not allowed to tour in the US right now because of the pandemic. It's just not.
Are you sure?
I'm almost certain that it's still very difficult to get into the US, and I think there are no European bands allowed still.
You might be right.
But please correct me.
Planning a tour right now will be very risky because things could change at a moment's notice.
Yeah. But we're working tirelessly in the background.
Did I lose you? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. But I think there's a glitch.
We have some lag here. What I was about to say is, I understand if the bookers don't want to get into it yet, if things look so uncertain as they do at the moment, because they might be wasting their time, as was the problem when the pandemic hit. They would be postponing the tours, half a year, 1 year, and then there's all the same work for no income, and in the end they think it's safer to just cancel it and rather bet on picking it up again once it's more safe. And honestly, for a European band to go to the US at the moment doesn't look very safe.
Nope.
Sorry to say, but US is our main market. Don't worry, we will not ignore you. We will get back to you eventually.
Definitely.
Take that one off. Vinna says, after a couple of trips to Lapland, I'll finally visit the Faroe Islands and Iceland in 23. Which are some must-see locations in the Faroe Islands? Lampa village.
Definitely.
Look, Trellanøypa is very close to the airport. When you drive from the airport to to anywhere, you pass this very long lake, relatively long lake. Remember, you're in the Faroes, a small country. It's the biggest lake in the country, but just east of the lake, you walk on a path all the way out to the end of the land, and there's Trellanøypa. You've seen many pictures of it if you looked up the Faroes ever on Google. It's this where the formation where it looks like the ocean is under the lake, or the lake is kind of hanging over the ocean, which technically it might actually be doing. I don't know the exact structure of that cliff formation, but you walk for, I don't know, 45 minutes from the road and out to the edge there.
Bit more.
It's a short walk. But it's absolutely worth it.
Totally. Breathtaking sights, and just like standing next to the lake and seeing the ocean beneath you, it's really something.
Then there's Vestmannabjørgene. You take boat trip from Vestmanna, and it's normal excursion for tourists, just sailing past the cliffs, but the cliffs are quite something. It might have been one of the nicest things I've seen in the Faroes. There is one other trip. I've only been on it once. It's a hike to a place called Shentir and a cliff called Muilingur. The hike goes from Tjørnavik, which is the northernmost village on Streymoy. That is something one probably shouldn't do alone. You should go with a guided company. But that might have been the coolest thing I've ever seen, especially the cliff Muilingur. Those would be my suggestions. Apart from that, take a look at the inside of some bars. They aren't so bad. Sarina Babaeva says, Привет.
Привет. She was one of our guides in Bishkek, right?
Yeah, might be.
She and her twin sister.
Right, from Georgia.
Were they from Georgia? No. We met some Kyrgyzstan.
Georgians.
Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, didn't we meet some Georgians somewhere there? I don't remember. Anyway,
might have been, but yeah.
I wish we had Gunnar here. He has a better memory for these things. Jasmine Gonzalez, we want you in South America. That is the Chilean flag, if I'm not mistaken.
It's so small, I can't really make it out. My eyesight is not what it used to be.
Anyway, it's not the Brazilian. I know that one from a mile away by now.
Yes, and we want to be in South America too. And the time will come when we will be back.
Yeah, but it's like with the US at the moment. It's not a tour I think is actively being worked on at the moment. Eventually, we will get to it. Fear not. But yeah, no need to explain. You know how touring bands are suffering at the moment. The first thing we're going to try is tours that don't go so far in the main market in Europe and around here, where we, if it were cancelled, it wouldn't be a huge deal. And if we have to travel home, it's just around the corner. Manaluz Pereira says, Cradle of Filth was in America last month. Where are they from, Cradle of Filth?
They're British.
Some time ago, they did announce that they opened the border to Europeans, but since this outbreak, it might have been closed again.
Could be. Yeah, like I said, I
Yeah.
might be mistaken. Maybe I didn't read
Yeah.
the newest update on this one, but it's still not really
Even
feasible.
so, it's still risky. It's still risky to go. Jacqueline Daly. Also been listening to you guys since 2014. Saw you once live. It was great. I sadly lost my Thor's hammer necklace I got from the show. I'm very sorry to hear that you lost your necklace, but you can buy a new one now at tier.fo/merch. Not the Thor's hammer, but the Tyr rune. Not a hammer, it's a letter, a rune. But it's much cooler. And you get them in silver and bronze at tier.fo/merch. Take better care of your things, woman. She doesn't say where she saw us. Anyway, I hope to play for you again soon and give you the opportunity to buy some more merch. Here we go. Whoops, Koch. What happened to that old brown 7-string you once had and got torn in pieces by chainmail? Still play that. Hi, by the way. Koch, it might be an old acquaintance from Austria. He used, if I'm not mistaken, he played in Visions of Atlantis.
Okay.
I can't really recognize him by the photo. Anyway, yeah, I had a guitar made from me in 2005 or something by a Faroese guitar builder, Bjarnastein. And yeah, we wore chainmail on stage in those days, and it scratched the crap out of the guitar. It's like, it was nicely finished, the guitar with a brown, what do you call it, bass or whatever, and I just tore the crap out of the back of the guitar with my chainmail.
But that
makes no difference to the sound, but
that's not the same Bjarnastein you still have, right? That's a different one?
No. That was a different one. That one, the one I have now is from Sweden, Ragnarok guitars.
No. I know that. I know that, but you have a Bjarnastein still.
Yeah. I only have one. Only ever had one, and it's the same one.
Okay.
If you look at the back of it, you'll see those things are not nice for guitars. I wanted to get more of those, but he stopped building them for some reason. And well, if he ever starts again, I think I will get some more. But at the moment, I'm on the Ragnarok guitars from Sweden or from Hungary, however you see it. Oh, here we have a comment from Twitch. Oh, that was on Twitch earlier also. I have mine since it came out, and I love it. I suppose she's referring to the Tyr rune necklace.
I see. Very good.
Which means she's extraordinary cool. Looks like we already convinced Jacqueline to buy another one. It's just
beautiful.
A sales pitch all around. Here's a funny one. Kjetil Solbakken, I suppose Norway. Saw you on the Wacken 2007. Lost my boots. that was a hectic show, or an intense show. I mean, it was packed, to the brim, and I suppose if you try to move, your shoes would fall off. It was dangerously full.
I think there are some videos from that show on YouTube still, right?
Yeah, actually, the full show is on our YouTube channel at YouTube.
The full show, right?
/Tyrband. and not our best performance, but parts of it are okay. And you can see the crowd is just absolutely insane.
Would be great to play there again.
A clarification from Jacqueline here. She was moving from Texas to Pennsylvania, so she probably saw us in Texas. Wacken, yeah, we were booked for Wacken Winter Nights. Of course,
Right.
they got postponed now for the second time.
Yeah.
So it's up in the air whether or not they will get all the same bands they had, or what they'll do. But
Sure.
we're hopeful that they will have us on the bill once they finally have the festival.
Nice.
Koch again, since you have a German in your ranks now, and you like to make fun of languages in your frequently asked questions, would you consider doing German traditional, not the awful stuff from the south we got here, but maybe Northern German, closer to Faroese in terms of melody and language? I've never heard much traditional German music. I mean, when you look up German traditional, it's Schlager, beer drinking, not the kind one would be itching to turn into metal. I'm sure there are older versions of German traditionals, but nothing that I've looked up ever. Are you aware of any?
No, not really. I mean, there are some so-called remakes, like from the 18th or 19th century. Old folk songs turned into something more classical. But I mean, from northern Germany, maybe there are some old sailor songs we could look into. Maybe in Plattdeutsch, or that would be fun, actually.
One of the issues in Germany, I can imagine, is that classical music started quite early.
Yes.
Well, as early as anywhere, maybe save Italy, and in Scandinavia you have traditional music up until recording is invented. So it might, for that reason, all music there was in Germany has gone through the hands or ears of someone who has a theoretical approach and wants to put it into four fours and Ionian, and just even it out so you can play along to it on an instrument.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas that didn't happen with the Scandinavian folk, at least until after it was recorded. So that completely original folk level of German music might be less accessible. I'm just guessing or speculating right here. I haven't looked into where you find truly original German folk at all. So feel free to ignore that. Here we go. There's a guy called Tom Kunmacher on YouTube. He does a lot of traditional German folk songs, although not Northern German ones. Yeah, I might want to look that up. This is from Neocat 1993 on Twitch. Tom is Kunmacher.
Never
Always
heard of
interested in more folk. Me neither. But I do find a lot of traditional Scandinavian music on YouTube, old recordings, and that's quite interesting that it's made accessible to the public like that.
Definitely, but I really have to admit I never looked up like actual German traditional folk, because like you said, it probably went through some kind of evolution of classical music and a classical approach, and therefore is not really as present as the Scandinavian or, for example, the Hungarian folk music, because there's a huge range of songs within the Carpathian Basin. I mean, very old songs.
Yeah. Who'd have thought that being barbarians would pay off in the long run?
Yeah.
Johan Peter Dam says, "Oh, low German texts with Twi melodies. That sounds like a win-win combination. I'm sure there are some common themes with Old Norse stuff there. Yeah, there might be.
Definitely.
So most, I know that Bach, for example, used a lot of German folk, but you know, it's set to a religious background, all of it. I'm sure there has been, like anywhere, you know, pre-Christian music and lyrics and whatever, but it's easy to see how it would become eradicated in such a Catholic stronghold as the German area was. It's hard enough for it's been hard enough for it to survive in Scandinavia.
Yeah, I mean, there are lyrics from the 9th and 10th century, you know, like in Althochdeutsch and Mittelhochdeutsch. So you know the like so-called pre-versions or earlier versions of nowadays German, or the Frühneuhochdeutsch. So
Yeah.
there are quite old fragments of these kinds of lyrics and so-called magic words, Zaubersprüche.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
maybe
I did hear about that.
Yeah, that would be an interesting topic as well. But it's not really much what's left of that.
Exactly. Durta Dal Kasala asks, "Hey, färdigt att ha konsert hemma i Färjestad." Do you get it?
She's asking when we're going to play at home in the Faroes, right?
Yeah. Are you having a show home in the Faroes soon?
Yeah. Yes, we have.
Yes.
On
we have a show
26 February.
Precisely. Where?
I Runavik i Luxhut. Luxhut.
Yeah. So we have a show, what do we call it? An 20th anniversary for our first album. First album was released in January 2002. And it is still called Halford Asgard. And we are also releasing the recordings of the show we had with the symphonic orchestra in February. So this is a combined 20th anniversary and a release show. And it'll be on the, like Tadeusz said, in beautiful Faroese on the 26th of February next year. And you can get your tickets at gongomerki.fo. That's ATGONGUMERKI.fo. I should have prepared that link and put it on the screen for you here. But
we have the link.
If you go to our website, tier.fo, you can see it there somewhere, I'm sure. Or Google Tuir Luxad. God damn it, it can't be easy for foreigners to write Luxad. We need to make this accessible for people.
Yep.
We have a show list. Tour.fo, you go down to shows, or you click the shows icon or menu, and the show is there through Bands in Town at least, and there's the ticket link if you're interested. We have as many as 64 viewers at the moment.
Wow,
full house. Multitude of likes and hearts. So many questions and comments. Let's see if I can make one stand still for long enough to read it. This one from Chile. Hello, back to Chile. Juan Marcos Salazar.
Buenos días.
Slytherin. Lloyd Rogers loving the band tease. Yeah, I was thinking about that just earlier. Judas Priest and Iron Maiden without even having to coordinate. That's how cool we are. Some really long questions here. I'm gonna take it time before I put them on. Give me a second. Oh, here we go. One from Alec Thunheim. Hello, Alec. Great to have you here. I miss your cooking, man. Yes. Hey guys from Madison, Wisconsin, USA. One of my great disappointments of this pandemic was not getting to see you in Chicago, March 2020. Any talk of touring the States when you come back through the Midwest? I'll be there with my usual tub of food and booze for you. Yeah, that's a great experience every time, man. I love your cooking, but maybe I'm gonna cut down on the drinking and do it the Gunnar way and stay off the sauce on tour. I think that'll be the future for me. But about getting back to the US, we talked about it earlier. They're not even, so far as I know, working on it at the moment. But the tour that was going to happen will be resuscitated at one point in the future. It doesn't look like it'll be in 22, possibly 23, but I can't even give you an update on that at the moment, unfortunately. Did you meet him, Tadeusz?
Yes.
You'd remember.
Yeah, I remember. I definitely remember. We got a very nice smoky single malt whiskey from these gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. Lafroig or something.
Actually, I met him already twice, I think. Once in Chicago, and once maybe in Juliet. I mean, it's just outside Chicago, right?
He's not a guy you forget that easily.
Yeah. And he also brought even vegetarian stuff for me, so cheers, man.
Fancy that. Accommodating gentleman. Not like the rest of your friends. No, just kidding.
Horrible.
Here we go. Wassel from Twitch. I found your band a few months ago and love your music. Thank you so much, man. Or ma'am. Man or ma'am.
Ma'am.
Do you have any plans for Germany? Germany would be one of the first places we go, and there is work being done on a tour in mainland Europe in not the immediate future, but also not terribly far off. And it'll be announced as soon as we have all the bands for the tour. That's all I can say at the moment. So yeah, Germany is on the very top of our list of lands to tour, countries to tour. And it's very nice that we have some people, some audience that heard about us a few months ago, because sometimes I get the feeling we have the same crowd. Not that I'm complaining about them, but we have the same people as we played for 20 years ago. It's just nice to see new faces.
Oh, yes, definitely.
We appreciate each and every one of you equally.
And especially, I mean, it's a very good feeling that, I mean, if Vassal is using Twitch, then he or she is probably not too old. So, you know, it's a good sign that our music still reaches younger people as well. So keep it up. Yeah,
Twitch is for gamers mostly. There are some musicians on there as well, mainly for live gaming and you know, to sport your skills for other upcoming gamers and whatnot. The only thing we do on Twitch is streaming live to Twitch. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know anything else about it.
We're too old for this stuff.
Yeah, I do think about gaming every now and then. It looks very funny, and you know, with all the cool gadgets you get, it does. I can really understand how people get into it and get hooked on it, but I hardly have time for all the projects I'm involved in at the moment, and I'm not going to do it, I'm afraid. Rita Tupper on Facebook says, "We appreciate you guys too. You give us so much to enjoy. Yes, even us older folks still love your music." Yeah, well, we're all old here, almost. Yeah, we get some pretty what can you call it without sounding insulting? Annuated.
No, we ripen.
Yeah. We get a pretty mixed crowd, honestly. We see children and their grandparents. Maybe I can tell a funny anecdote. We were the band we had before Gunnar, me, and some of our friends called Wolfgang. We played a reunion show for music history book in the Faroes that was released, and there was this young person came over to us. I'm not sure I remember the details correctly, but the gist of it is this: "Oh, you're from that band, Wolfgang. You're playing in Luxor on Sunday, right?" Yeah, yeah. I thought, oh, cool to have some young people. They said, yeah. My grandmother's going.
Well,
Slam.
but don't forget, the first time I've been to the Faroes playing with you guys, we had on one day we had two shows. One in Klaksvik, I think, and the other one at the bridge, Vibruna. And
Yeah.
the show in Klaksvik, that was a very special show because it was actually like a surprise show only for kids, and they went mad when they realized that it was Tyr on stage. I mean, they were headbanging like girls and boys between 9 and 14, and they really loved it. It was great to see that.
If I remember correctly, they were a bit shocked to kind of have to wave them to the stage after the first song.
Yes, at first, but then they were like, really letting it loose.
It wasn't announced anywhere, and they were kind of surprised, I suppose.
Yes, they were.
Tibor Pop, great to see you, man. Tibor Pop is the guitars guy behind the Ragnarok guitars. I don't have the guitar right here, but he makes excellent instruments. And he asks, any gig in Sweden? Yes, we do have a Swedish gig or two on the gig tour I mentioned earlier. There's a main market European area tour being worked on at the moment, and Sweden is definitely included. So maybe Gunnar can finally pick up that bass, that fancy bass you made him.
Oh yes,
and
beauty.
Maybe I could get another guitar. That would be wonderful to finally have two similar guitars. Any respectable guitar player should have like 10 similar guitars. I own 3. Yeah, my own fault. Started using non-standard guitars.
Oh yes.
Hard to replace.
How many frets?
Never 29? Done that. Yeah, 29 or 30, 7 strings. I'd never started that if I knew how hard it was to find instruments. But I'm very, very grateful for Tibor and the Ragnarok guitars. I never met him, actually. You did, I believe, Tadeusz.
Yeah. We met like 15 years ago. Actually, in this city where I'm right now, where I used to live when I was younger. We frequented the same bar and liked good metal, so that was the connection.
That's metal for you. Connect anyone.
Yep.
Baron von Blair, much respect from California. Respect back to California.
Hey, Cali.
Love that place. Absolutely love it. Our record label is there, Metal Blade Records, and
yes.
It's just a special feeling to get to California. Maybe especially Los Angeles. It such an iconic place in some ways, but also the other ones. What is there?
San Diego, right?
San Diego, yeah.
I think that's California, and San Francisco.
Yeah. San Francisco, yeah, that too. That's a beautiful place, by the way. If there is a more freaky place than LA, then San Francisco would be it. But LA is pretty freaky. Further clarification from Vassal on Twitch. I'm still young, 23.
Very good.
Keep it up, man. Or ma'am. Alex Reich. I'm a new face, but it's an American face, so you probably won't see it for a while. No, I'm sorry not, but glad to have some new faces here. Very
Yes.
glad. We still have 65 viewers with us or listeners, but yeah, more questions about the US tour. Now we explained it twice in this Q&A. So if you want to hear about the US tour, rewatch this once we finish. The short story is it's not going to happen for, I would say, a year or two at least. Gunnar Tad on YouTube asks, I love the video clips as the scenery is always very good, and I think it goes very well with the spirit of the band. How do they decide on the places? If you're referring to the two most recent videos, Ragnarskræ and Sunset Shore, they were shot in Hungary and Slovenia.
And Romania.
Romania too. So that was the video crew from Budapest who chose those locations. But they probably looked into our earlier videos and did something that would fit. Extraordinary scenery up there in the mountains, in the caves in Hungary and the mountains in Slovenia.
Yeah.
And we didn't go to Romania ourselves, but they shot part of it there with the actors, I believe.
Yes, in Székesvár, city in Transylvania. And around there, not videos, only there, they went to Poroid as well, I think. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that Romania also?
Yes. This has been a part of Hungary 100 years back, but...
let's get into that subject.
No, we're not getting into that.
So, as for our earlier videos, something like The Lay of Our Love is a digital video, so that would look great anywhere. It was shot in, I think, Slovenia as well, or somewhere around there, in a huge green screen box.
No, that was Serbia, I think.
Serbia, probably, yes. A horrible memory for these things. And we have some other videos. They're all kind of outdoors. It's so much easier to make a good video outdoors on a low budget than in a studio. Of course, you need a much bigger budget and more people working on it for a studio. So usually bands our size will pick a nice outdoors location, and we haven't picked the locations very much ourselves. It has been the video crews. Some Germans, two Germans came to Denmark when we made the Hold the Hidden Hammer High video. Rented this boat for half a day, and it was supposed to be a bigger video, but some plans fell through, and there was supposed to be a reenactment group of Vikings there as well, and they didn't show up. What else have we done? In the Faroes, we made Hail to the Hammer, the video. Also, an Icelandic friend of ours who has now passed away, unfortunately, Ingólfur Juliusson. He chose the locations and simply made up the whole concept for the video. And so it's not really been our work to choose the locations. Let's see here. Russell Hamilton, greetings from the Mourne Mountains, Northern Ireland, UK. Hopefully you guys will be back in Belfast real soon. What was the first song riff that really blew your mind? I believe Ireland is also included in the European tour that's in the making at the moment. So hope to see you there soon. The first riff, it might have been Motley Crue, Wild Side from Girls, 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 or something like that. If not, then maybe Judas Priest, Breaking the Law, something along those lines. Hard to remember which was the very first, but those will be close to the first. And you?
My case, that must have been when I was around 4 years old. My oldest brother just showed me how to use his turntable, and we had loads of classical music, but he had some The Who and Rolling Stones and the Beatles as well. And I remember that I used to put on Abbey Road by the Beatles, and that album starts with "Come Together." And back then, I was so fascinated by that song that I only played that song over and over and over, because the whole start of the song and that main melody that really blew my mind, if you can say so, as a 4-year-old. So yeah, I must say that was the first song that first pop rock song that really had an impact on me.
I must have been 14, 15 when I started to listening to riffs like that. I listened to music before that, but nothing that really grabbed me like metal did. I was listening to ABBA maybe. My mother had a cassette player and some ABBA tapes and some other music, and I thought that was wonderful. But metal was just another level of inspiration and fascination.
That's true. Of course, metal-wise, it was later for me as well. That must have been Judas Priest, Painkiller. So I bought that on cassette when I was 10, almost 10, and I knew I went home from the that was still a store, like a record store, where you could just go up to the counter and you had these huge headphones hanging around. You just gave them the record that you would like to listen to, that one, and they said, okay, go to headphone number 4, 5, or whatever, and you could just listen to it and just browse through the artwork, and Painkiller started, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I was totally hooked.
It must have been amazing stuff.
Yeah,
probably the most metal album ever.
It is. It really is.
Let's take one more question here, and then I think we'll call it an evening.
All right.
Carrie Mandeville asks on Facebook, what is the weather like in the Faroes? Does it change from season to season?
Wet.
No, it's always horrible and 5 degrees. It changes a lot. In the summer, if you're lucky, you have a day with like 15 degrees, maybe even 20 degrees Celsius somewhere, and no wind. As the first time I think you and Attila visited the Faroes. Had you been there before?
That was my second time. Yes.
True. That was the most beautiful day I've ever seen in the Faroes.
Yes, and, that was really beautiful.
Sometimes there's no wind, even at the airport. Most of the time there's a little bit of wind everywhere, and the wind is what tends to drive people crazy. Foreigners mostly. When you grow up there, you kind of get used to it. In the winter, you get more storms. Storms are very destructive, and houses are built to resist them. And you get rainstorms, snowstorms, Mostly it's raining when it's stormy, but every now and then you get a snowstorm and a blizzard. It gets, if it's -5 degrees Celsius, it's very cold, but the wind chill factor is like +10 or -10, I should say. So the weather will kill you pretty effectively in the winter. So it doesn't get as cold as it does if you go to the same latitude or longitude. I always forget. Must be latitude. Northerners
Latitude.
in say Canada or Russia. It's much colder in the mainland than it is out in the ocean, because the Gulf current comes directly on the Faroes from the south and carries a warmer atmosphere with it. So it's horrible to sail around the Faroes. If you ever go there, go by plane, and everyone should go there at least once in their lives, I think. But then go home again. Tiny country, you start falling off the edges. All right. We are up to 46 minutes. Let's call it an evening. Everyone who didn't get their comment or question through, we'd love to have you back next time. We'll be live on Instagram in 2 weeks precisely. And we'll be back here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch on the first Saturday of the next month, first Saturday of December, and hopefully we will have Gunnar and Hans with us at that time. Just quickly before I go, you can find our merch at tier.fo/merch. It's very easy to find if you go to tier.fo, and you can buy CDs, LPs, necklaces, t-shirts, anything you might want for Christmas or for yourself. If you have nothing to add, Tadeusz, we shall say
nope.
see you again.
I remain silent. Bye-bye.